Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn about Sources of Medieval India, Part 5. Before that, we are going to see the answers for the previous day assignment. Now we are going to have a quick short recap on Lesson 1, Part 4. Books, Biographies and Autobiographies. Minhaj Siraj wrote Tabaqat-i Nazri. The compendium deals with the period from the conquest of Muhammad Ghori to AD 1260. The compendium was named after his patron Nasruddin. In the 13th century, Hasan Nizami wrote Taj-ul Mazir. It provides information about Qutbuddin Aibak. Ziauddin Barni, the courtier of Muhammad Tughlaq, wrote Tariq-i-Firoz Shahi, in which he dealt with the history of the Delhi Sultanate from Ghiyasuddin Balban to the early years of the reign of Firoz Shah Tughlaq. In the 17th century, Jahangir wrote his memoir, Chaski Jahangiri, throwing a lot of light on the period. Badauni's outstanding work, Tariq-i-Badauni, was published in 1595. This work spans 3 volumes. The volume on Akbar's reign is a frank and critical account of. This work spans 3 volumes. The volume on Akbar's reign is a frank and critical account of Akbar's administration and religious policy. And now, we are going to see Sources of Medieval India, Part 5. Travelers and Travelogues. First, we are going to see about Al-Biruni. Al-Biruni. Al-Biruni was an Iranian scholar during the Islamic Golden Age. He has been variously called as the founder of Indology. What is Indology? Indology is the academic study of the history and cultures, languages and literatures of India. He was born on 5th September 973 AD and died on 13th December 1048. Al-Biruni accompanied Mahmud of Ghazni in one of his campaigns and stayed in India for 10 years. The most accurate accounts of Mahmud Somnath temple expedition is that of Al-Biruni. Mahmud raided on the temple of Somnath, and the destructions of the idol has become an event of immense significance in the writing of Indian history since the last couple of centuries. As learned man and scholar, he traveled all over India trying to understand India and her people. He learned Sanskrit and the philosophy of India. In his book Tarikh-i-Hind, he discussed the Indian conditions, system of knowledge, social norms and religion. Now, we are going to see about Marco Polo. He was born on 15th September 1254 and died on January 8, 1324. Marco Polo was a Venetian merchant, explorer and writer who traveled through Asia along the Silk Road between 1271 and 1295. A Venetian traveler visited India during the 13th century when the Pandya kingdom was in rule. Marco Polo was twice in Koil, which was a port city presently called as Koyalpattinam. Now it is in Tuticorin district. It was full of ships from Arabia and China. Marco Polo tells us that he himself came by a ship from China. According to Marco Polo, thousands of horses were imported into southern India by sea from Arabia and Persia. And now we are going to see about Ibn Battuta. He was born on 24th February 1304 and died at Morocco. Ibn Battuta was a Muslim Moroccan scholar and explorer who widely traveled the medieval world over a period of 30 years. Ibn Battuta, an Arab-born Morocco scholar, traveled from Morocco right across North Africa to Egypt and then to Central Asia and India. His travelogue contains rich details about the people and the countries he visited. His journey lasted for a period of almost 30 years, covering nearly the whole of the known Islamic world and beyond. They extended from North Africa, West Africa, Southern Europe, and Eastern Europe in the west to the Middle East, India, subcontinent, Central Asia, Southeast Asia, and China in the east. After his travel, he returned to Morocco and gave his account of the experience to other people. According to him, the whole of the Indian trade with the Western countries passed through Egypt and hence they were rich then. Ibn Battuta tells us the caste in India and the practice of sati. We learnt from him that the Indian merchants were carrying a brisk trade in foreign ports with Indian ships in the seas. He describes the city of Delhi as a vast and magnificent city. Those were the days when Sultan Muhammad bin Tughlaq transferred his capital from Delhi to Devagiri in the south, converting the city into a desert. In the south, Vijayanagar had many foreign visitors who left behind the detailed accounts of the state. Niccolo Conti came in 1420 from Italy. Abdur Rashak came from Central Asia in the year 1443. Domingo Pais, a Portuguese, visited the city in 1522. All of them recorded their observations, which are very useful for us today to know the glory of the Vijayanagar Empire. And now we are coming to the end of this session. Look at the assignment carefully. We'll meet you tomorrow. Goodbye.